So I got a question from a guy who's starting a summer job as a carpenter slash construction worker this year. And I think he's starting next week, so I wanted to make a real quick video. And his question was, what are some of the essential tools that he'll need for the job? So right away, let's talk about safety. If you're in construction or carpentry, there's a good chance you're going to be doing a decent amount of demolition work, which are pulling walls down, and then insulation, all kinds of things can get in the air. So get a good dust mask. This is a respirator, but a dust mask is probably all you need. I like the kinds with a rubber gasket. You're going to want eye and ear protection. And also, I would get 2 or 3 pairs of work gloves. I like the kind with the rubber palms and fingers. You can get a good grip. And it's amazing how much more confident you are just sort of digging right in there and pulling 2x4s and things out when you have a pair of gloves on, as opposed to when you don't. And when you don't, you're more likely to get splinters and cuts, and then that's downtime. So on your tool belt, you really don't want your tool belt to be too heavy, so you can sort of add and subtract tools as the day goes, or whatever the job may be. So I'll just tell you what I have here. You're always going to want to have a utility knife with you. That's a great tool to have. And I like these kind of open up, almost like an old lock blade. And I like to have a nail cutter with me and a nail set, and of course a tape measure. A lot of guys will have 25 or 30 foot tapes. I always like a 16 foot just because the 25 and 35s get a little bit heavy and bulky. And another thing you're going to want is a screwdriver, and I think it's good to have the combination screwdriver where you have a Phillips head and a flat head, because you'll need this to remove light fixtures and switch plates and things like that. Always have 2 or 3 pencils with you, and I like to have one of these small flat bars. These are really useful for removing door casings, popping baseboard molding, crown molding, things like that, and a 3/4 or an inch chisel. And that's pretty much all I would carry on my belt. I'm forgetting my hammer. I like the 20-ounce S-wing hammer with a straight claw. I've never really been a big fan of the curved claws. I like the straight claw because it's just a really good demolition hammer. You can pry 2x4s with it, and then you can turn around and really drive nails with it. And as far as a couple of things you want to have in the truck or on the bench, a speed square is a great tool to have on a construction site. Hand plane. One of these little hand planes, if you keep the blade sharp, you'd be surprised at how well they cut. And this is something that you can keep in your bag, especially if you're doing siding work. A cat's paw is a good tool to have, and also a chalk line. So those are a couple of things that I would have. Please chime in if I'm forgetting anything. I think the most important thing that you can bring to your first year of a summer carpentry job, construction job, is a good attitude. And that's always number one. Whenever I was working in construction, you've got to try to keep things light, have fun, and do the work. So I hope you have a good summer. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.